All right, happy new moon in Sagittarius. This new moon happening today, December 14th, it's also an eclipse, a solar eclipse. And so, happy solar eclipse, new moon in Sagittarius. I am getting ready to pull some runes and take a look at what healing is during this lunar cycle. My name is Petra, and I'm here in my apothecary, as you can see behind me. I'm going to post the link for my shop in the description. I'm also will post the link to the bind rune that I'll create with these runes. So after I cast them and get the messages from them, I'll take the symbols and work them into a single sigil. So I'll post that on my blog as well. And I'll put the link in the description too. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everybody who's watching. This is my second video, so yeah, just getting in the flow, finding my flow. Appreciate everybody being here in the early days. So let's get into it. I'm going to cast these runes and take a look at what healing is for the collective, the group of us, the group of humans here that are healing. This is a collective message. These runes are also an offering. If you work with runes and you're looking to call in healing, this is a suggestion for runes you can work with. But these messages are just in general for anyone who's healing. Anyone who's on their healing journey. Sagittarius, new moon, Sagittarius eclipse. What does healing look like for us? What are you offering us the opportunity to heal? What does it look like to move through this transit in a way that is healing, in a way that brings in healing for the collective, for the whole, for each of us as individuals, for our collective networks, and for this planetary body that we're part of? What does healing look like during the Sagittarius new moon and this upcoming cycle? That is too many. That's entirely too many. So a lot is going on. Okay, that's damn near like more than half the things. You know what? These runes always want me to pick from them. I'm gonna do it like that. These runes always want me to pick. The jade, for some reason, the obsidian, they like me to throw them, and the jade ones, they like me to choose them one by one. So we're gonna go with that. I can always tell as soon as I cast it if it was actually a reading or not. That was just random. Okay, starting over. Asking my runes, these dearest runes here, and the Sagittarius new moon today, Sagittarius eclipse, the upcoming cycle. What does healing look like? What does it look like to move through this time, this moment, these transits in a way that brings in healing for the collective, in a way that brings in healing for the whole, in a way that brings in healing for the planetary body that we are part of? Okay. There we go. That's a reading. Okay. I pulled 4. Wow. Okay. Center is the thorn. The axe, the hammer. Wow, okay. Wow. Okay. This is what it has been feeling like for me. The Sagittarius new moon. So in the center is the axe, and above it is the crossroads, and below it is the storm. This is like pushing through at a critical moment. The thorn is about, I'm thinking about Mars, and Mars recently going direct. The thorn is that type of energy of pushing, of willpower, of force, breaking through boundaries, initiating. It's like the thing that breaks through a barrier into newness, right? It's like almost the force that comes before something is born. And then the storm is destruction. This Hagalas, it's hail. It's things coming in all of a sudden. It's like the Tower card. It has this shaking things up from flipping things on their head, just like completely the way a hailstorm will come in and just destroy all of your crops in one night. Kind of fortune changing, your luck changing, things going from up to down, or vice versa. So this feels like having a really forceful direction, having your own forceful direction in the middle of a storm. It's like as there's chaos, as things are being destroyed, as things are changing around you, as there's this like change, this thorn, it asks us to push through. It asks for determination through a storm. And then with the crossroads, it's like I'm getting this almost as like changing direction. So this is often called the gift. These are hard to see in the day, huh? This is called Gebo, or the gift, or I call it the crossroads, because it's like exchange. It's an encounter, chance, that crossroads principle where you are going one way and then you can turn another way. So that, along with the storm, those two, it feels like this moment where things are being shaken up and we're at a crossroads, right? A lot of us are finding ourselves, talk about the astrology of this moment, right? Talk about what's going on in the world. 2020 going into 2021, right? The storm and the crossroads feels very much like what we're experiencing. This destruction that's opening up a threshold, right? Things are being shaken up, and there actually is a lot of possibility to choose different directions. I think about that principle of like, if everything is set and everyone has their place, it's harder to make a change. When there's something really destructive that comes in and tosses everything up in the air, that's when, the people who are on the top and the people who are on the bottom, everyone is kind of adjusting to change. Everyone is in a situation where they're having to shift direction, right? So it's an equalizer. It kind of our situation can exacerbate and make worse and widen the where people at the top and people at the bottom. But there's this is talking to me about the gift of destruction, right? The gift of systems failing that haven't been working, like the gift of things being pulled out from under your feet, and how that actually allows you to change direction, how it puts you in a position to be at a crossroads. And when you're at the crossroads, what healing looks like, it looks like being sure. Looks like knowing which way you're going. Looks like having the confidence, the force within yourself to actually make that choice, to choose. It's like if things get disrupted, everything gets tossed up in the air. We're now, you find yourself at a crossroads position, exercising choice is how you move through that in a way that's healing. Exercising your personal power to say, okay, yes, this is the direction I'm going to go. The thorn is all about direction to me. It has that, think about the symbol that we use to press play, right? The play symbol on any like iPod or the universal press play. It's that triangle like that going in that direction. It has a sense of initiate, start, go this way. So this feels like standing in the middle of a storm at a crossroads and saying, I know which way I need to go. I'm going to exercise my power to choose. That's really reflected by the fact that the crossroads and the storm, let's see if I can get it on camera, they both don't have a reversal. So this looks the same either way. Same with the storm, with hail. Either way you put it, it looks the same. There's no reversal. The thorn, on the other hand, has direction. It's either going that way or it's going this way. It has a very clear direction. So seeing it in the middle, underneath, in between, I don't think I'm going to be able to. Right? It's like showing direction in the middle of multiple directions that you could go. It's like the storm blows open the possibilities, puts you in a position to be able to have multiple choices. Okay, so on either side, that's up and down. I chose 4 here. On either side of the thorn, we have the sun and the yew tree. The yew came up in the last reading that I did 2 weeks ago. That was an eclipse, a lunar eclipse in Gemini, a full moon in Gemini. These are very cheerful. Like, while the other 3 feel really kind of like high stakes, dire situation. You have to make a choice and you have to commit and you have to go with, seize the moment, seize the power. These are very laid back, I want to say, together. I'm seeing sunlight and dappled shade, a sun and a tree together. The yew tree is considered the tree of life, the source of creation, that being tapped into sources below you and sources above. That's the yew, the principle of the yew. And the principle of the sun is just shining, radiating, light. So together, I'm feeling like I'm in a grove of trees that have dappled sun, and the sunlight is filtering through the trees. These two together feels like an oasis, a sheltered grove. Birds are chirping, bees are buzzing, butterflies. It's like the up and down column feels like high stakes, and the side to side column. This is interesting. Seeing the thorn in the middle of those two. It's kind of like the thorn, the principle of the thorn, it wants to serve beauty, pleasure, an oasis. Like the whole point of breaking through boundaries and choosing a new direction and breaking into new territory, like that kind of energy, the whole point is to create space for this, right? Space where you can just exist, just be yourself, where you can just be whole, be. Place where you can just be in the flow, where you can be tapped into creative source. This is so easy, these two, the sun and the yew tree. It's like this thorn action, the taking of action, the choosing of directions, the putting our force out there. The whole point is to create space where we can flow, where we can be ourselves, where we can be in harmony. There's a lot of harmony in those two. There's a lot of disharmony in these two. This is like finding the gift in the destruction. And this is a pure gift. This is it's like keep pushing for those spaces. Keep fighting. This is a fighting, right? This is a hammer. This is a weapon. This is things that are sharp. These are thorns. This says like push, insist, right? Push those boundaries open. Make space. Make the space to be yourself, to be your full self, to shine. Okay, this is like healing means like breaking through into new territory so that you have the space to be in your flow and to shine, to radiate from your internal space. That's why this is so harmonious. This combination. Do you see how they both have this like centered quality to them? Actually really similar. And if you just turn it, they're almost the same. It has this harmony. It has this centeredness. It's like shining from your core. That's what this combination is. Shining the sun from your core. The yew tree, your source, your who you really are inside, your internal, your dreams. Like, this is your dreams seeing the light of day. This is your dreams getting to be expressed. This is that internal dream world coming out into the external. And it's this thorn that makes way for that. Where's it? It's this thorn pushing through. It's this thorn action, taking decisive action, deciding to go off in a direction and committing and making, like, this says to me, insist, right? Insist on that new direction. Insist on finding the space that it takes to be yourself, to be your whole self. Fight through the bullshit. Find a way. Like, believe in yourself, right? Like, this is a real powerful rune to activate, like, confidence and just believing in yourself and having that power, that force to just go for something, fight for something, right? And this is like, it's making the way. It's paving the way. It's clearing the way for this type of existence, where you're able to just be yourself, be tapped in, and to be whole. I think there's a lot of these two, the storm and the crossroads. It's like there's a lot of opportunity to get derailed almost, or there's a lot of places, there's a lot of different, like I said, a lot is up in the air. There's a lot of different ways that you could go here, I think. There's a lot of different ways we can go. A lot is up in the air. And this is saying that healing itself is like fighting for wholeness, for flow, fighting to create space where those can exist, and insisting on it, pushing through, taking the action that is needed, because it's like this. I'm getting this like real warning about the crossroads and the storm. Like you have to be careful at a crossroads. It's a dangerous time if you're not sure about yourself, right? If you're not sure about which way you're going, if you're not sure about what you need and what you want. It's like, if that's the moment when things get changed up and there's opportunity to go in this direction or that direction, right? There's potential to get really lost, right? There's a potential to go the wrong way. So this is a recipe, and I'm excited to put this into a bind rune to combine the meanings, because this is like a recipe for navigating that disruption. It's a reminder that when we're faced with a crossroads, when we're faced with things being pulled out from under us, our entire reality shifting and us having to now choose a new way to go, it's reminding us to be confident about our shine. And it's funny because as I'm talking, the sun is getting brighter and brighter, and it's like shining on me. This sun rune, Sowilo, it's like, be confident, be forceful about your shine, be forceful about your flow, about your ability to tap into your own source, your core. It's like, I love that this you showed up again, because this is kind of a similar message to last time, 2 weeks ago when I did the last one. That was really about breaking out, using resistance or pressure, using the constraints and the pressure of constraints to like strengthen your creations. Like the bind rune that I created looked like almost like a dandelion, like pushing out of a crack. So that was all about insisting on creating, and this yew tree showed up too, right? It was the 2 trees. So that reading was all about insisting and sort of using pressure and pushing back in order to create from a place of source. This is about direction. This is about choosing direction. Having the crossroads with the thorn, it's about choosing direction. It's about being faced with choice, right? Having disruption create choice. Bring you to thresholds, to crossroads where you have choices, and the healing nature of confidence and personal power and taking action when you're in that moment versus just allowing what's coming to you, right? a lot of times I get reading, the healing readings I get are about allowing and going with the flow and releasing control. This is the opposite, right? This is about taking power, taking the power that you do have to choose and exercising it in the direction that opens up more space for you to flow, for you to be able to flow and just be whole and be authentic and be yourself, right? It's like you have to be able to take decisive action in order to flow. You have to be able to do both. So this is speaking about healing now during this Sagittarius new moon, Sagittarius eclipse, the next 6 months. There's a real need to be decisive, to exercise that power. To exercise it in the direction that allows you to be whole. To use that as your compass, as your guide. And to be really forceful. Beautiful. I'm going to draw those into a bind rune and I'll post it on my blog, and I'll put that in the description down below. I hope that is useful. I hope these messages find those who need it. And I'll see you next time. Sending protection if you want it, and I'll see you around.